Look how huge Paul is next to Flex. Like
yeah.
Dude, that most muscular is silly.
Right?
Look at that.
He just like ballooned up when he hit that shot.
Oh, here we go. Oh, damn.
Straight to the top 5
Lee,
comparisons.
Flex, Shawn,
Darrem.
Ray, Darrem, Charles.
Yeah.
Jesus.
That front lat is Shawn.
Look at Shawn Ray's lat
He's
spread.
just so filled out, you know?
Couldn't even see light under his arms.
The 90s were some heavy diuretics, man. So guys were messing around with stuff. And then you get a cramp in your foot.
Oh, yeah.
And back then they'd say, oh, it's okay, it's just your foot. And then you get like maybe get a bit of a calf cramp.
Yeah.
Yeah, just works its way up.
Yep.
But the old adage, like, that people actually said, I remember as I got older, I'm like, this sounds ridiculous. You shouldn't have cramps at all. But the old thing was, oh, it's okay if they're like in your calves and stuff. You just have to kind of live with it. But if they start coming up higher,
they're getting too close to
get up. You don't want them to get near your heart.
Yeah.
Like if you start getting ab cramps or lower back cramps,
you're filling up with cramps.
You gotta drink. You gotta, you're filling up with cramps. Just think of, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking this is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. But that was what people would say.
Oh yeah.
Hey everybody, welcome to It's Just Bodybuilding Reacts. I'm Big Ron Partlow, Dusty Hanshaw, the producer Scott McNally. Of course, I am MUTANT.com. Get your all in, get your ISO surgeon. Everyone should get on the gear. Use your codes Dusty and Big Ron. Remember to like, share, subscribe, comment, and
ring the bell.
Okay, and we're off to the races. What do we have, Scott? We have the 1996 Ironman Invitational.
Yeah, let me bring this up here. This looks really
now,
good, too.
For those of you that don't
clean
know,
version of
the
it.
Ironman was the first show of the year. It was always in January.
Yeah.
It was the first show of the year. It started off the season, and they were famous for having the best lighting in pro bodybuilding. Everyone looked great at the Ironman. Everyone was always trying to look the way they looked at the Ironman. Of course, it later on became the Flex Invitational for a while.
And then it died.
Rolling kicking her. On Ray, Mike Ashley. Okay, 96 though. Who are we looking at now? Is that Lee Priest?
Yeah, I think
that
he's
one
in
silhouette
here.
looks like Lee Priest. Who we got here?
This is wild.
Oh, they're bringing him on in the dark. That's Paul Dillett.
I know Paul. Yeah, I was gonna say.
My best condition was by far the 1994 Arnold Classic, which I had some problems in, and at that show I was 262 pounds.
The 94 was the one he cramped up at.
Oh, was it?
And in better condition.
Carry him
than I
off
was
stage.
for the Arnold Classic. So therefore, I would say I've improved. You know, just you know, to me, I'm so happy with the progress that I've made. You know, with more detail, more separation, just being what I am now, a professional.
His face agrees with that.
Yeah. Wow.
Just nuts. I like how the lat spread was just by bringing his hands into the side.
Yeah.
Front relax.
That's an incredible look right there. That conditioning right there, I mean, that's when we talk about like, oh, guys were harder in the 90s. I think this is the kind of look we were talking about. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or people are talking about when they say that. It is kind of a different look.
I sent you a couple pictures, Scott. We can put them up after, but yeah.
Okay, okay.
Oh, he's lean. His glutes are tight. He's hard.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't think I ever saw him, because I kind of came in later in his career, ever looking this good. Like, he's nuts here. Look how shrink wrapped the delts are.
Yeah, he's working with Chad Nichols at this point.
Okay.
Glutes are, yeah. So he's definitely working with Chad. The back posing was always very difficult for him.
Yeah.
He just has such a.
His glutes are in. He's not hitting them as hard because they flex for a minute, but they're weren't as important at the time.
Same with the
put his
hands.
time
Look,
in.
he's not
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Yeah.
He hits them and then they go away.
But they're
It's
there.
that posing.
Phew, those arms.
Yeah.
That tricep. It's ridiculous. Music has changed a lot. I don't know if we can play this music, but it is definitely not what they do. Not what we're going to hear at the Arnold Classic this year.
See, I mean, he's in crazy shape. His posing's terrible. But that was
it's
always
awful.
the criticism of Paul, was that he wasn't able to show that physique properly.
You
know
can,
what I mean?
as a fan, though, you can still see it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's like, I
God.
get what you mean for sure. Like when he
Yeah.
moves, you can see that just like everything is separated.
And I mean, 6'1" and 6'1", 6'2". I mean, he's huge on stage, you know, standing next to other people, just dwarfing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's freaking. But look, I mean, he's totally relaxed in the midsection right there. Like,
Yeah, he didn't have it distended, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't,
Yeah.
No.
he's totally relaxed and he's still like pretty
he couldn't
tight in
distend.
the waist. He's not blowing out. But man, yeah, just crazy mass, a huge
that
triceps.
tricep is stupid. Yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah.
I didn't even remember that about him. That's insanity.
And of course, I'm remembering how big he was in physical, like real life, because I did meet him at his in his prime.
Yeah.
I met him at Gold's Venice when he was humongous. He was getting out of his Mercedes in the parking lot. Hey, boys! He could tell we were fans.
Yeah.
Where are you guys from? I
It's
said,
so
we're
weird.
from
'cause he,
Canada.
like,
Oh,
he
hey.
looks so much taller than that. Like 6'1". If I was guessing on stage, I'd say 6'3". You know what I mean? He just looks
Yeah,
tall.
no.
Yeah, he's just huge
Massive.
looking. Yeah. In every way.
And I always thought, like, he didn't have the biggest back, but he had these fucking huge rear delts. And I always wondered if, like, just the way he pulled, if his rear delts did all the work, you know, because his rear delts were so ridiculous, like, that I thought they must have been doing a bunch of the work for him, you know?
Yeah.
It's like when you see a guy that has kind of small pecs, but his triceps are crazy, and you're like, oh, that's what his
Yeah, that's his
triceps
pressing.
are doing. You know what I mean?
No.
Oh, here we go. Oh, damn.
Straight to the top 5
Lee,
comparisons.
Flex, Shawn
Darrem.
Ray, Darrem
Darrem
Charles,
Charles,
Paul Dillett.
Darrem Charles, one of those guys that could just sneak in at any time back in the day.
Didn't Darrem win like 18 pro shows or something?
Yeah. Oh yeah, ton.
Lee on the end. Flex. Oof. Shawn Ray.
Dude, Shawn looks nuts there too.
Shawn just like looked nuts at every show he ever did.
Yeah.
Like there's not a single picture of Shawn Ray without like a fully in back double bicep, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, serratus all the way down. Yeah.
Even the year that he was 5th, he was still like great.
Ooh.
Paul in the middle.
Just everybody's look on this stage. It is a slightly different look than we see now, just conditioning wise. I can't put my finger on what it is, but there's a quality to the look that is different in these guys. And I know people will be like, "Oh, it's insulin," but I think it's something more than that. I don't know what it is though.
Ooh,
Jesus.
That front lat Shawn.
Look at Shawn
Yeah,
Ray's lat
he's just
spread.
so filled out, you know?
Couldn't
Yeah.
even see light under his arms. I feel like if Paul could ever have figured out how to pose, he would have won a lot more shows.
Yeah. I know he won a few. He won the Night of Champions one year. He won a few of the smaller shows. Lee Priest on the end.
One leg back showing the calf.
They cared about calves back then still, huh?
Showing the calf. Yeah.
So I would
he
have
actually
just
said
left
it.
the stage, then just leave.
Dude, look
This
at
one's
Paul's
not
rear
for me.
delts. Look at Paul's
Yeah.
rear
Oh
delts.
yeah,
They just
they're
look,
crazy.
they
It
just look
overpowers
so
back.
huge.
Yeah.
Like the biggest muscles on his back.
But just standing there, his back is ballooning, you know?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It's a weird posing thing.
You notice he never back then they didn't worry as much about squeezing the ham on the front leg.
I got to put it on pause right there. Just right there. Oh, my God. That's crazy.
Yeah, flex.
Side tricep.
A with hair flex wheeler. So it's like the first half. And now this
Hair
is
and no earrings.
also, keep in mind, this is the post broken neck flex wheeler. He already broke his neck in that crazy car crash and missed a whole year. And he came back and was winning a bunch of shows, right? Yeah.
Turn to the front. Abdominal and thigh.
I like how Shawn hits the most muscular before the ab thigh.
Look at that ab thigh on, yeah.
Look at Darrem. I mean, damn.
Oh, is that it? They're not going to show us the end on this video.
What?
They're not going to show us the end. This is what we get for watching a reaction and for the first time, I guess.
We're
There
truly
we go.
reacting in disappointment.
So
Yeah.
throw those two pictures up I sent you, Scott, when Paul was talking about how he had an incident at the Arnold in '94.
Yeah, hold on. Let me grab
That was the famous show where Paul Dillett,
Oh, yeah.
in the morning show, everybody saw him and they were like, Paul might win this show. You know, that was like the talk. I mean, who knows if he would have, right? But everyone was like, Paul looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then he went out to pose and he almost died. Like his entire body seized up. He couldn't move. He couldn't walk.
Yeah.
They had to carry him off stage. He was so cramped up and dehydrated, messed up electrolytes and all that back in the the 90s were some heavy diuretics, man. Some guys were messing around with stuff.
Yeah.
And he just had a bad day. But yeah, the 94 Arnold almost cost Paul more than that show.
Yeah.
Because he had to get him.
The placings on this one was Flex Wheeler won, Paul took second, Shawn Ray took third, Lee fourth, and Darrem Charles fifth.
Hold on, check this out. I'm back, guys. I'm back here. Hold on, I got to get rid of these pictures.
Oh.
We got more.
You found the...
We've got more. We got a part 2
Oh,
here.
no. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Flex wins that pretty straight up, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I have
Darrem.
something I wanted to mention too on that the diuretic.
Oh,
issue.
Nasser.
Oh,
Nasser with
big
the
old
fanny
Nasser.
pack. Look at the fashion.
That's a look.
I would dress exactly like that.
Yeah.
Jeans with the fanny pack over top.
I don't want to hear
shirt.
anyone say they can't find jeans if Nasser is at 3:30 wearing them right there.
In 96.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's probably wearing some Shawn Johns or some rapper brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to. They just look like fitted
Yeah.
jeans.
Yeah.
Okay,
Lee
Lee
Priest in
Priest
fourth.
is fourth. Phew.
Dude, that most muscular is silly.
Right?
Look at that.
He just like ballooned up when he hit that shot.
Oh, man.
So I had a guy that a friend of mine, he competed at Nationals with Shawn with Flex Wheeler.
Yeah.
And he said he saw him backstage and he goes, I don't know what all the hype is about. He looks like nothing. And then he said he kind of started doing his thing. He looked over and he was pumping up. And he goes, it looked like he gained 20 pounds right in front of me. Just when he started pumping, he goes, oh, I'm screwed. Like it went from like, I don't know the hype to, oh, I'm screwed.
That's funny.
Yeah.
$3,000 in a trophy presented by Jennifer Goodwin and Mr. Jim Wright, one of the editors.
I don't know how I forget how good Shawn Ray was. And every time I see pictures, I'm like, holy shit.
Then you're reminded, right?
Yeah.
And look how he
Abruptly.
stands compared. Like, he stands very, everything was professional, right?
Right. All the way up to this point still, versus Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't relax for a second.
Yeah.
There you go. Check for like $3,000 or whatever the hell he won back then.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
But
like,
$3,000 is worth like 20 now. So
Yeah.
I
there
don't
is
know
that.
whatever the check was. I don't know. It
90s.
could have been $30,000. I don't know. But yeah, Flex and Paul see each other every single day in the gym.
Without Joe Weider, bodybuilding would not be what it is today. If you saw
Look how huge Paul is next to Flex. Like
yeah.
I wonder what Paul's leg measures. Like, look at the width of it, and then the width of Flex. Like, he's way bigger.
You can't help but be drawn to Flex. It doesn't. You
Yeah,
just look at it.
yeah. His calves on Dillett too.
God, yeah.
We have Paul Dillett and Flex Wheeler. Obviously, when I tell you who wins, you know who's going to be second.
Yeah, that's Lonnie.
Ronnie Tepper, the Swami.
Yep.
Those are great times when he did the Swami guesses.
The 1996 Ironman bodybuilding champion, and this makes it 3.
Oh, 3-time.
Shawn Bailick and Jennifer Goodwin presenting the trophy check for $10,000.
$10 grand for first.
All right.
10 grand for winning the Ironman.
It was
No
that for 20
way.
years.
I wonder what 10 grand was in 96. What was it? Like, literally, what was it? What was 10 grand?
Oh, God. I'm going to do a little comp real.
Yeah, see if you can find that out.
What was 10 grand in 96?
I heard a podcast, by the way, Ron, with the Dillett story that you brought up here. Those pictures when he froze up on stage.
Yeah.
So John Romano told this story on a podcast years and years ago. He was helping him, and he was backstage with him. And he said, under the light, he was watching him pose, and he said, he's just holding a little bit of water in his lower back still. And they said, I'm just going to hit him with a little bit more injectable Lasix. That was the story that John said on the podcast. And
The one
lo
to
and
pick
behold,
a little bit more.
a little injectable Lasix, and just that film was there that he saw in that lower back, and that was it. He came out and talked about that. This had to be 10, 15 years ago. He was talking about that on a podcast and just completely owned the whole thing and how bad he felt about it. I can only imagine how terrifying that whole situation would have been, because they said he just froze up like a statue. His body, you could see in that picture, they picked him up and like his legs were stiff. They had to all pick him up, and carry him off like a mannequin, basically. Yeah.
I heard Paul say he was in agony. Like he was in agony. Like he thought he was going to die.
I mean, if that kept going in, the heart is eventually that's going to happen to it too. And that's where you're screwed,
So 10 grand in 96 compared to now is $20,115.
Okay.
Today.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So it's twice as much. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I know the old thing I was always told, like, I remember in the old days, you'd be drying out for a show, maybe take a bit of diuretic, and then you get a cramp in your foot.
Oh yeah.
And back then they'd say, "Oh, it's okay, it's just your foot." And then maybe get a bit of a calf cramp.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just works its way up.
Yep.
But the old adage, like, that people actually said, I remember as I got older, I'm like, this sounds ridiculous. You shouldn't have cramps at all. But the old thing was, it's okay if they're like in your calves and stuff. You just have to kind of live with it. But if they start coming up higher,
they're getting too close to
get up. You don't want them to get near your heart.
Yeah.
Like if you start getting ab cramps or
You're
lower
close.
back cramps,
You're filling up with cramps.
You gotta you're filling up with cramps. Just think of, as I'm saying this, I'm thinking this is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. But that was what people would say.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, hams and calves cramping. That's just, you just got to live with it. That's just being ripped, and dry. But
You're only
they
a
start
quarter of the
coming
way
up.
cramped at that point.
Yeah, they start getting.
Totally
if you
fine.
get within 8 inches of the heart,
If you
you
take
have
this
to
bottle
maybe
of water,
consume-
if you take this bottle of water, you see,
That's a safe cramp zone right there. That bottle of water.
yeah.
I know, and that was like what we thought. Like I remember people telling me that, like, "Oh, you got a calf cramp? That's okay, as long as it's below the
fine.
knee, you're okay. You're fine.
Oh my god.
You're fine."
That's terrible.
And then if they got up, you have if you start having ab cramps, now it's like, oh, we better put some salt and some water into them.
Yeah.
You'd have like 2 Doritos and then a sip of Pepsi.
Right.
I should be fine.
Okay, now you're fine. Now you're medically cleared. You're medically cleared to compete.
Good ass.
Imagine telling a paramedic that.
I had
It's
two
okay
Doritos.
though. I gave him 2 Doritos and a Pepsi, so he made it through prejudging. And they're sitting there looking at, oh my God, he's on the verge of a heart attack.
It should have been 3 Doritos. How did you not know that?
And then 40 minutes later, he had another 3 Doritos. Their paramedics would be looking at you like, what the fuck are you talking about? This guy needs to go to a hospital.
Doritos will not save him. That is not what we're going to give him in the hospital. Just to
You
bring
can't
him
win
back.
there. Can't win in the hospital.
Start the Dorito drip. You get him on a Dorito drip, you'll be okay.
With the Arnold, is that what they did backstage for Paul? They just started giving him Doritos and then he was fine.
Right, we're feeding
chew on
Doritos and
these.
pets. Yeah, I still remember. I remember at my first nationals, the 2000. I think I've told this story, but I'll tell you. 2000 nationals. I'm a super heavyweight, so I'm waiting to go on, and the supers are standing off the side of the stage in the morning, and the heavyweights are on stage, and there's a bunch of them. There's like 23 heavyweights or something. So prejudging is like taking a while.
Long. Yeah.
And the guy that won the whole show, his name was Reza Antoinarbi. He's this Persian bodybuilder from Vancouver, and he was just like 5'6" or 5'7", and just stacked and hard as nails. Like back in 2000, it was like, well, this guy's gonna win. Like as soon as he walked on stage at nationals, it was like, this guy's gonna win.
Yeah.
So, anyways, he's standing on the side of the stage because they're done with him, and he just falls over.
Oh.
On stage. So they like rush and help him up.
Yeah.
And they bring him off stage. And he's really panicked to get back out, even though he's already done his call outs. You never know. They might call you out again, right? So he's all panicked to get back out on stage. So they're like, are you going to be okay? And he was like cramping, and he had like, his leg was cramping, and he was like trying to stand up. And he's like, it's okay. And I remember he took 2 pieces of pineapple off this tray, and he had a sip of Pepsi. He's like, okay, I'm good.
That's all you needed.
And he went back out on stage, and I
Yeah.
was just like, oh, wow, that's hardcore. That guy collapsed on stage. He went right back out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he won,
Hardcore
like
is
at
right.
night. He won. He won
paid
his
off.
pro card, and I was like, you got to be close to collapsing on stage, I guess.
The closer you can
In
get.
order to win, the closer you get
It
to
used
death.
to be that way. That used to be.
Yeah.
That
Odds
was when
of
I
winning.
started competing. I was at the tail end of that, where my first
Yes.
pump up, like the lights are kind of flashing a little bit, and I'm feeling I don't want
Tunnel vision.
little tunnel vision. You know, I'm like,
Don't walk towards the
keep
light.
pumping
Don't
up.
walk towards the light.
Yeah,
You're looking through a fisheye lens everywhere.
yeah.
You're like, oh,
That's how you know you're gonna win.
I'm
you know,
going
when you-
to win.
yeah.
Gonna win.
Oh,
this.
man, I remember it too. I mean, we all remember the worse you feel, the better you look.
Oh,
No
yeah.
one remembers that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then nowadays you get these guys are like, yeah, I feel really good. It's been, last 2 weeks been pretty easy. Just coast in, lots of food, and they go win their show, look awesome. And you're like,
Yeah.
huh,
We're
you weren't really thinking that way.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's
awesome.
okay. We almost died so that the guys now don't have to.
Yeah.
Good for you. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the most severe cramps I ever had was my first real show, and when I was 21, I did the Northerns, and I won the heavyweights, and then we went out to eat, and I had taken some diuretics. I had taken 2 tabs of Diazide, like 2 whole tabs of Diazide. Like I took one the night before, or 2. I took one the morning the Friday morning. I took a Diazide, and then the Friday night I took a Diazide.
Yeah.
So I took two whole Diazides.
Big blast.
But
yeah.
that's like
And
quite
how
a
much-
lot of Diazide.
And especially how much water were you drinking at that time?
Yeah, like we were restricting
Yeah.
hard, right?
Right.
So I was sucked out and all that. And we go to eat, and I don't know what I did wrong. It was probably should have like thoroughly rehydrated before I really ate. You know what I mean? But, we get to the restaurant and I'm eating pizza and guzzling Diet Coke, which is obviously got caffeine in it. So that's more diuretic going into your system. So, but I'm eating pizza and I get my steak and I'm eating and we're pigging out. Like first show, no lessons learned.
Yeah.
Everything wrong.
I learned that.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And as the food starts to hit me, things are not right. Like my electrolytes are out of whack from from Diuretics and everything, and now I got all this food coming in with all this salt, and something was out of whack. And in the restaurant, my calves and hamstrings and quads were all started to go crazy on me. And I started panicking, and I remember the president of the bodybuilding association, like the provincial guy, was there, and he was very experienced. And I was like, he come over to my chair. He's like, I heard you're cramping really bad. And I was like, dude, should I stop eating? I ate a lot of food. And he's like, how much have you drank? And I'm like, like, I think I drank that much, right? And he's like, you need to stop eating immediately and drink water, and you need to level, or you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go to the hospital.
I guess I'll drink this water.
I thought, well, I'll put like a whole pitcher of water down, and I'll just like, hopefully they don't get worse. And I remember that hoping the cramps didn't come up into my abs. Like I was like, that old, as long as they're below the waist, like
I'm still alive. We're good.
I'm still alive. Yeah. Just like stress, but it was post show, which was really weird. I was like, oh wow. I thought as soon as you're done the show, everything's home free,
Yeah.
You're like, no, you're still almost dead.
Yeah. It takes a little longer than 30 minutes to recover from that.
That is a classic.
Yeah.
How had we not heard that story before? How had I not heard that story before?
He probably hasn't remembered it until just now.
Right.
Panic cramps, Couldn't even get out of my chair. Like just like locking legs sticking out under the table. Holy fuck, like.
Oh, those are the worst.
Okay. Well, we enjoyed the reaction. That was fun watching old Ironman memory lane. Of course, the magazine would be 3 months later. You'd get the results of that show.
Yeah,
it'd be like the April version of Flex would have the Ironman results in it.
That was, I think, the freakiest Paul Dillett I've seen. I've seen other great shots of him, but that there was incredible. I got to say that right now.
96 to 98 was Paul Dillett's like window, I think.
Okay,
and then he won the 2000 Night of Champions. Okay. And that was like his last sort of like win, and then kind of the Olympia placings really dropped after that. But then things changed. 2000, Cutler shows up. It's a new era.
Yeah.
Ronnie's winning. So, but yeah, man, good times. Okay, remember everybody, like, share, subscribe, comment, and
ring the bell.
Yes, and remember, IamMutant.com, Dusty and Big Ron. Use your codes, get your discount, show the love, support the show. Build the community. I don't know what else can I fucking say to these people. I don't know. Okay.
Please. Make it sound more desperate. That'll help.
Oh man. Oh, everybody froze. Okay.
We're good. Okay. We're good. We're back.
Right. I just We're good. We're good. Okay. And I do hope I don't know if everyone heard I'll tell you later. Don't worry about it. You can edit this out. Okay. Remember, everybody, it's just bodybuilding reacts.
Perfect.
Got it. You hoped what? You hoped?
Oh, I had a forgetful moment there where I forgot I already told the story.
Oh, okay.
I forgot I told it when Carlos was on about Chris calling me.
Oh yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
I go, hey, Chris, what's up? So the Canadian trend is going to cost 25% more now with these stupid tariffs. Can you please call your guy and get him to do something about this? I go, call my guy, and he goes, yeah, Trudeau. He's like, call your guy, get him to do something. Yeah, call your guy. Call your guy, get him to do something about this. We can't be paying more for trend. This is going to hurt my athletes.